Hello, hello, hello. Hey, this is Alicia Pink, and thank you in advance for clicking on this podcast. So, for this podcast, I'm going to be talking about estranged siblings. Um, okay, so having estranged siblings is probably one of the most difficult family problem issue that anyone can have. And it isn't talked about a lot. I tried to do some research on it, and I haven't really found too much videos about it or articles. I mean, I found a few articles, but not a lot. It just seems like it's taboo to talk about being estranged from your family, and if you are, then something is wrong with you. But anyways, I talked about my relationship with my sister and brothers on my previous podcast, where I had daddy issues, daddy's broken little girl. I talked about having daddy issues. So, I want to touch base on my relationship with my sisters and my brothers. I have two older brothers and two older sisters. I always felt like the only child growing up, even to this very day. My sisters and my brothers are 10 to 15 years older than me. I was only close to my siblings when I grew up, when I was younger. But as I grew up, I grew apart from them. I was close with one of my sisters. We were really close growing up, and also until like my adulthood, early 20s. We were really close. I don't know what happened. I believe our relationship became estranged because I started having problems with my mother. And my mom used to go and run and tell my sister what we argue about, and she automatically takes my mother's side over mine. And that right there kind of put the strain on our relationship. I'm 31 years old now. I don't talk to any of them. It kind of sucks because when people ask, do you have any sisters or brothers? I say no, because I don't anymore. We don't talk. I haven't seen them in so long. So basically, I am the only child. We just never had that typical close sibling bond. You know, it really, watching movies and watching YouTube videos and stuff, you see people brag about how close they are with their sisters and their brothers, and I'm like, oh my god, am I like the only weirdo that that isn't close to my family? Like I said on my previous podcast, my dad left when I was a child. I haven't had a relationship with him since I was a kid. He came into my life. He left when I was 2. He came back into my life when I was 12, and then he left again. And then I seen him when I was 18, and then I haven't seen or heard from him since. So he basically was like the introduction of abandonment issues that I have. He was the first person, the first to leave and to abandon me, to basically teach me like, hey, people leave and you're just going to have to deal with it. So yeah, I was already used to it. I like I said, I truly believe age also played a big factor into the fact that me and my siblings never had that, you know, close typical close sibling bond and relationship. We just They are 10 to 15 years older than me. You know, they all share the same dad, so that's one bond that they have. They all share the same dad, and I have a different father. So basically, they're my half sisters and brothers. But we grew up in one home. We all share the same mother, and we basically never use that term, oh, that's my half brother, that's my half sister. That's just so we never use that, that's my sister, that's my brother, you know we never use that. And like I said, we were close when we were younger. Even though they were much older than me, they were still teenagers, and they treated me like I was the baby. you know but also my oldest sister, I never really had a bond with her because she was practically an adult by the time I was born. She had her life. She already was like moving out. She got into the army, then she went to college and she became a nurse. And basically, like, she had her own life out. She moved down south and she had her own life. And I never really had a relationship with her. Unless she came back to visit, and that's that. But I believe we had a falling out because I wasn't doing too good in school, and when she came back, she was like, "Okay, well, what is going on? What is wrong?" Da 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 da. Basically, trying to boss me around and trying to be my second mother, and I really didn't appreciate that because I already had a mom, and you're basically never around. So who are you, and why are you trying to boss me around? And that relationship just, yeah, it just was done after that. Um, like I said, my other sister, we had a really good relationship. Like, we hung out a lot. We went to the movies. We went to amusement parks. We went out to dinner. We had a really close bond. She stayed around. She went to college in New Jersey, where, I'm from Jersey. She went to college here in Jersey, and she let me stay over her dorm room when I didn't want to be at home, my mom. And when she got her first apartment, I used to sleep over there all the time. So we had a really good relationship. Like I said, our relationship just started getting estranged once me and my mom start getting into it and arguing a lot. And she always took my mom's side, and she never took my side. And I believe that's how our relationship just got estranged from there. My brother, he always had his own little thing. I he was like the cool big brother, but he had his own life. He never really was there for me, or we never really had like a relationship. My other brother, he is artistic, so he's nonverbal, so I never really, had a relationship with him either. Also, me and my mom don't have the best relationship until this day, because when I was younger, I could say around 12, um, my mom started working a lot, and basically I had to watch my artistic brother, and I didn't really get a chance to enjoy being a teenager. I was in the house all the time. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go anywhere. I had to watch my brother. So it was hard for me to make friends. So basically, I was like a teenager stuck in a house with my artistic brother. And I know people are like, oh my God, you're so selfish. Like, you was watching yours. I was a kid. I was 12 all the way up until my high school years, that I basically it's like I was taking care of a child that I didn't give birth to. It sucked. And I kind of sort of resented my mom for it because I'm like, I didn't get a chance to go to the malls with my friends. I didn't get a chance to go to parties. I didn't get a chance to date or do anything what normal teenage kids do. I didn't get a chance to do that because I was watching my brother. And it was hard explaining my friends that, oh, I can't go out because I have to watch my brother when they all knew I was the youngest. So, I had to explain, like, oh, yeah, I have to watch my brother, and I can't do this, I can't do that. And it sucked. Being a teenager and you can't do anything, you rebel. You get mad, you get angry. Because basically, when you're a teenager, you believe the world revolves around you and you're always right and everybody else sucks. And like I said, that's how I end up becoming promiscuous at a young age because I had a free house. My mom wasn't home. It was just me. My artistic brother, he stayed in his room. So my friends came over and they brought boys over as well, and things happened. Just saying. Um, so also when, back to my siblings, like we started growing apart. My sister moved away. My oldest sister, she's the oldest out of the five of us. She moved away. She, got a nursing degree and had her own life. My brother, he ended up moving away as well. My sister stayed, but she became distant. And then it was just me, my mom, and my brother, and it was just the three of us. And my older sisters and brothers, they didn't check up on us and wasn't around. So I felt like the only child because when I was watching my brother, my sisters and brothers wasn't around to watch them because they had their own life. And I was the one that was stuck at home watching them. It would have been nice for them to like come around and took the pressure of a kid watching a artistic grown man in a way. It would have been really nice for them to come over and say, hey, I'll watch him, go hang out with your friends. But I didn't have that. They had their own life, and I was stuck in the house basically taking care of an artistic grown man, and I was a kid. Okay, so you put yourself in my position. I had some really resentment towards my sisters and brothers. I basically couldn't stand them and also I had resentment against my mom because I'm like, this is a lot and I'm just a child, and they got on me about me having bad grades and stuff. Well, I was having bad grades because I didn't do the work. I didn't have anybody to help me. I also didn't understand what the hell I was doing, and I had a learning disability. So as I found out as I got older, but they didn't know that. Like I said, I got bad grades. My mom didn't check my report cards. So basically, she didn't know I was failing school and getting bad grades and skipping school as well, because I used to skip school a lot. Because my mom, the way it was set up, my mom used to go to work. She had to be to work by 7 a.m. I had to be in school by 8:30. So she would leave before me, and I usually get home before she gets off work. So my brother, he went to his adult daycare program, They come and pick him up at 7 a.m. My mom is gone, my brother is gone, and I'm home. I used to stay home because I didn't want to be bothered at school. I was failing. I wasn't getting good grades. My sisters and brothers wasn't living with us anymore. I was good. So, and no one checked up on me at all. So, I skipped school a lot. I got bad grades. I truly believe, because I wasn't getting the attention that I wanted as well. My sisters and brothers never checked on me. They still don't check on me till this day. So it's like, I always wanted them. I was the baby. I always wanted my sisters and brothers to check up on me, to be around, to show that they cared, but they never did. And I always was like, maybe I should reach out first. But then I'm like, I'm the baby. Why should I have to reach out first? They should reach out to me. But I'm still stubborn when it comes to that. My brother, he has a daughter. I never met her. My sister has a son. I met him once. I always wanted to be an aunt, but it does. I probably will never get that. And it sucks because I didn't have any aunts or uncles. I mean, I had aunts and uncles, but they sucked. My mom had the same relationship with her sisters and brothers. They didn't talk as well. So they weren't a part of my life growing up. I didn't really have any close relationship with any of my cousins or any of that. So, it is a generational, kind of curse, if you ask me, because we don't have any type of I don't have a strong family union or anything like that. And it's something that I always yearned for, but it never happened. It never happened. So it really made me depressed in a way, because I always thought that family will always be there for you, always have your back and protect you. But I never had that. I don't know what that is like. Like I said, my dad was the first person to show me that people leave. And then my siblings showed me that as well. So having abandonment issues is something that I always had to deal with. And how I cope with that, I'm still coping with it. I really don't even know how to cope with that. I'm still learning that process. But I just wanted to make this podcast because I know I'm not the only one that's going through this, that feel this way about their siblings, that feel like, dang, my siblings really don't care about me. I think about my siblings all the time. I wish them nothing but the best, and I love them. I even have pictures of them on my freaking my refrigerator, and I wish them nothing but the best and nothing but success. But it really sucks because I don't think they wish that for me. I truly believe that. I don't think they even think of me. So, and when I have kids, my kids won't have aunts and uncles. They won't. They won't have cousins. they're going to go through the same shit I've been through. And it really sucks because I don't want that for them, but unfortunately, it will happen. And I would love to break this generational curse that we have. And hopefully, I will. And I'm going to pray for them. I'm going to keep them in my prayers. And I really hope this podcast helped anybody out there that's struggling with the same thing I'm struggling with. And thank you guys for listening. Good night.